Are you smokers in your family?
My parents were, and they've hung on their walls for 55 years.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a long time, isn't it? Because they are incredible. They're covered in sort of grime and nicotine and smoke and everything else, aren't they? But that's not a worry. In fact, in a way, that sort of preserved them. And what we should really do at some point is probably take them to a professional restorer and get them cleaned, because I think you'll suddenly see how wonderful these pictures are and how bright the colours are. The first two are here, a pair of English landscapes, and I've been looking and looking and looking. I can't find a signature on them at all. I think that they're certainly English, they are certainly mid to late 19th century, and I feel they're possibly by the Williams family. And they're probably just these two alone, even without a name, are worth £1,500, possibly even £2,000. But this is the picture which I really like. And this is by a Belgian artist called Charles Joseph Grip. And I couldn't read the date, but it's probably late 19th century. But these pictures are well known for all the detail. Look at the fruit, look at the flowers. And this is a Belgian artist really looking back at the 17th century. So we've got a sort of big connection with the golden age of Dutch and Flemish painting. Now, have you had this valued?
By a local.
A local?
Auction, yes.
Can you tell me what he said?
500.
£500 only.
Insurance value.
Insurance value. Well, I think he's mad. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, but I think they are. This sort of picture is so commercial, and when it's cleaned, you will see all its potential. I think he missed out on naught. I think it's 5,000. It's such a great picture, and it's got everything that a buyer would want.
Thank you very much.
I bought it in Dorset, so is it a Dorset piece? I don't know. I don't know that much about it.
Right. But looking at the whole shape of it, it's a Welsh dresser, basically. But what's interesting, this idea of the three drawers with the arch in the middle is more typically from the Brecon area.
Oh, right.
And what confirms it to me is the fact, have you noticed that this shelf is much wider than this one or the one below it?
Yes.
Do you know why that is?
Because bigger plates would have gone here, meat dish or something, I don't know.
Right, but recent studies have determined that it's more subtle than that, and this is fascinating. In Brecon, traditionally meat plates, the big decorative meat plates, wouldn't be rectangularly placed like that in a landscape form. They'd be placed in a vertical portrait form. So you needed a higher shelf.
That's just aesthetic, is it? It's
purely aesthetic, but it's a regional characteristic of just Brecon. So that alone is enough to say it's Brecon for me.
All right.
I'm just going down to the base now, because there are one or two things just very quickly to point out. It's unusual to have this chamfered leg. It would normally be a ring-turned leg in Brecon. He's either very fashionable, this man, or he didn't know how to turn.
I see.
You're missing the front and back stretchers, which you probably realise. But what would be really nice to replace is the would have been boards, 2 to 3 boards running left to right.
Yes.
And that would obviously set it off a bit.
Yes.
And I think that's probably worth having redone.
Really?
Because it's an unusual dresser. It's a nice size, it's the original height, it's not very big, cottage furniture. I could go on for a long time on this.
I brought it in to find out whether it's worth having restored, because I wasn't sure whether the plate rack was original to the base because of it being a different material.
Totally original, totally original. So how long ago did you buy it?
A year ago, almost to the day.
Right. What did you pay for it a year ago? This is always the difficult bit.
£4,000.
4,000. Well, I was going to say that it would make £2,500 to £3,500 at auction. I think it's a fair market price, and I think if it can be well restored, I mean, I think I'd have put £4,000 to £4,500 for insurance. So I think you're already beginning to recoup the payment you've made. And I think if you have it nicely restored by a good restorer, it's going to go up really quite quickly. It's a good buy, and I'm really, really excited to see it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm pleased that you're pleased to see it.